Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about The War Between the Land and the Sea, which is the newest spin-off of Doctor Who. And I gotta be honest, when I heard about this, I was thinking, why? You know, the Sea Devils were never anybody's favorite villain of the show, and it seemed like an odd choice for a spin-off. But after watching it, honestly, it's better than like the last 5 seasons of Doctor Who itself, which isn't saying much, but still, pleasant surprise. It's not a perfect show. No, it's has a few flaws, but honestly, it's a lot better than I expected it to be. Um, so let me just get into it. I feel like first off, I like how it's a spinoff of Doctor Who, but it doesn't over rely on the lore of Doctor Who. It doesn't shoehorn a reference in every 10 seconds like, ooh, look, it's something from Doctor Who. Mostly the references are just Unit and the Sea Devils, and that one guy from Children of Earth. Besides that, it's kind of its own show, and I appreciate that. This isn't Boba Fett. We're halfway through the series. Uh, the, the Mandalorian comes in and takes over the show. Like, that didn't happen here, so that's good. Bulkley is our main character, played by Russell Tovey, who was in Voyage of the Damned, playing a different character. And he was also in that one episode of Sherlock, I think. I don't really know much of his other stuff, but honestly, he gave a really good performance here. Bulkley is pretty likable. He says yes to a lot of things, though. He's very agreeable, which some people some people are people pleasers. So I guess it's realistic in that sense. I felt like his chemistry though with Salt, which I think is funny how the Sea Devils have to have sea-related names. We have Salt, we have Tide, like those. I don't know. Every single that's like naming your son Rock or Grass. I just think that's a little silly. But I feel like he didn't really have much chemistry with Salt because they meet, then they have like this instant connection, and then they're in love. And I feel like the events of this show don't take place in that long of a time. Like I'm guessing the whole event takes place in like maybe a couple weeks. So they're like instant attraction to each other. Doesn't really work for me. But that being said, I like his character. It's kind of a different type of protagonist from what we're used to seeing in sci-fi shows. A lot of times you get like the headstrong leaders like Picard or Adama or the Doctor. Um, but he's a lot more timid, which I think is a unique choice for the lead character of the show. I like that about him. Very reserved, I would say, but also he wants to stick up for what's right. Salt, like I said, I don't know. Doesn't really have much chemistry with him. I thought our actress did a good job, who's also Martha's sister back in series 3. But if Doctor Who wouldn't be Doctor Who if they don't reuse the same 50 actors, right? So, I don't know, I feel like we don't really get to see much of her personality. First, she's like the ambassador, and she's speaking in diplomatic terms. And then when she's with Barclay, she acts like a goofball. Ooh, I am free. It's exciting. It's like, I don't know, it's a little weird. And then at the end, I mean, she has a little bit of a personality, so that's good. After her and Barclay are on the run together, I just feel like at that point it's a little too late, right? Like they finally decide to give her a personality, and it's like, okay, show's over. Kate, though, huge fan of Kate Stewart. She's kind of been like a mainstay on the show since the 11th Doctor era, being in 5 Doctors in a row. But I feel like here, I really appreciate her because you get to see how she reacts to things when the Doctor's not around, which you saw a glimpse of in Lucky Day last season, um, in that Doctor Light episode. But now it's like a whole series of it, which is really cool. She's compassionate, always tries to do the right thing, but sometimes gets a little brutal. She's not afraid to use drastic measures, and she's not afraid to play dirty sometimes, which I like. She's not like a the ultimate pacifist like the Doctor is. She she tries to be, but then sometimes push comes to shove, right? I don't know, I just feel like they fleshed her out a lot more, and Gemma Redgrave gave such a good performance in this series. Uh, I didn't really care that much about her boyfriend who died because he barely got any lines when he was on Doctor Who. He barely got any lines when he was on this show. So him dying didn't have the same effect to me as, say, Yanto dying did. But I do care about Kate, so I was sad for Kate. And Gemma Redgrave playing Kate, grieving through all this while still having to be the boss, is very moving, I'd say. I think she's the MVP of this series, really. Um, I think all the actors did good. The villains were kind of lame. They're not the most dimensional villains. They're just like, ooh, we want money. Who cares about the environment? Which, I mean, I guess they're all people like that in real life. Looking at you, Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg, people like that. So, I guess it's accurate, right? Uh, but overall, you know, Barclay turning into a fish at the end was kind of dumb. I don't, I don't know how whole kissing him turns him into a fish. It's kind of stupid. Um, but honestly, it's kind of a tragic ending with 90% of the Sea Devils dying. That's a little tragic, right? I mean, we do see the villains get their comeuppance by that guy puking Waddle. I don't know how that happened, but I guess that happened. And then the Waddle somehow flooding the car. Don't know how that happened either, but I guess I'm just gonna have to roll with it, right? So, like I said, there's a few plot holes. Characterization is mixed. Major problem I've had is the dialogue. Sometimes when Russell writes dialogue lately, he doesn't have the characters. He just has the characters say how they feel instead of show how they feel. A lot of it's like, I feel upset because of this, instead of just showing it. Like sometimes you'd have Barkley go like ramble on about like my granddad did this and then I got divorced and I felt like this, and I just feel like it'd be better if the characters don't have to spell it out for the audience like they're stupid. They could just they could show it more in the face. Russell used to be good at that, with Torchwood and his era of Doctor Who originally with Eccleston and Tennant. But I feel like now he kind of dumbed down the dialogue, and I don't appreciate that. But I guess that's more of a minor nitpick. Like overall, the show was fine. Wasn't anything to write home about, but I've noticed a trend where Doctor Who's slowly getting in the right direction. After series 11 and 12, probably the worst. Flux was slightly better. Season 14 with Shooty, slightly better. Season 15, a little better. A little between the land and the sea, a little better. So it's an upward trend. Slow upward trend, but still an upward trend nonetheless. This is honestly a better show than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be pure slop. Visually, it looked fantastic. Whether that's the special effects, the location filming, or just the directing itself, maybe a mix of all three. I thought it was filmed beautifully. This is probably the last of the Disney money, so next season of Doctor Who, they're probably going to go back to the wobbly sets, in the 1960s cameras that fuzz all the screen. But you know what? Shit happens, right? So let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the rule between the land and the sea. I just finished episode 5 now, so sorry if this is a bit of a rambly video. I didn't have time to make notes and stuff, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there while they're fresh. Uh, and I guess it's going to be a long wait until the next Hooniverse related TV show, because it's Christmas 2026. And normally I'd be a little upset about no Christmas special for Doctor Who, but we do have 3 episodes of Stranger Things on Christmas Day, so I'm fine with it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.